Right, Bensis Ntombi, it's 6 o'clock. Please just do indicate when we are good to go. I know members are transitioning from budget votes to the meeting, and then we will be good to go. So we'll be on standby. Colleagues who are online, please may we just beg your indulgence momentarily. Members are transitioning from budget votes to this meeting. So we'll be good to start shortly. So Bensis Ntombi, please indicate.
Okay, we'll do that.
Colleagues, people are trying to log in. There's also the load shedding dilemma in certain parts of the country, which is causing some problems for some colleagues. So I'll just request that we be patient a little bit longer. All right, put Ben, Sestombi. Some members are indicating difficulty with the link. Can you please facilitate that they get it properly? I know that we had a meeting this morning and then there was links for the budget votes today and then there's a meeting now. So please just facilitate as they indicate in the group. Thanks. Right, but Ben, Mrs. Tombi, I'm going to assume we are good to go.
Yes, Chair, we can proceed.
Right.
Chair, I'm informed
Thank you
that
much. Good evening, colleagues. Yes.
Oh, I'm informed that the ADG will log on later. She's attending the department's budget vote.
Are the budget vote still in session?
I have no knowledge.
We were scheduled to start when they ended. That was the arrangement with the presiding officers. So I'd be surprised if there's one in session now. But it's fine. I think let us get going. We've already had a delay, which is something largely unprecedented in this committee. We always start on time. So I'd like to apologize for that delay. Colleagues, it's unlike us to not start on time. Let me take this opportunity to welcome you, colleagues. We met this morning with the National Skills Fund, and you've had a long day, and here we are again for a graveyard session. Honorable Somyo and Honorable Van Minen will be leading us this evening on this hearing of SITA, and would like to welcome the SITA component and all our stakeholders. Colleagues, before we start, I have a sense what I'm about to say may have an impact on on the meeting rather, let me put it that way. The correspondence to SITA and the ministry department was sent on the 10th of May for this meeting. And of course, as you know, we've already been briefed by the AG on this entity, amongst others. And a short while ago, and I'm quite deliberate with the term short while ago, because at about 5:15 this evening, I received correspondence from the parliamentary liaison officer of the minister indicating that the minister would not be available for the meeting this evening because one, there's the budget vote, and two, that the minister is preparing for cabinet tomorrow. As I'm saying, the issue of budget votes falls away because we start when they are done. And then secondly is that the deputy minister is also unable to join us. In her apology, she indicates that she's traveling to Free State Province. Why I raise this particular issue, colleagues, is you will recall that the previous board's term came to an end in December 2019 and was not renewed by the Minister of Communications and Digital Technologies. The minister appointed a person to fulfill the role of executive caretaker and accounting authority at the end of January 2020 to fulfill the duties of CEO and the board of directors. An interim board of directors was appointed on 19 March 2022. The composition of the interim board is the executive caretaker, chief financial officer, and the deputy director general of the Department of Communications and Digital Technologies. The instability had a negative impact on the oversight and continuity, especially in key board subcommittees, such as the Audit and Risk Committee, since these committees were either not in place or were not properly composed for a portion of the year under review. The second point is that in the year 17-18, there was 2 findings, an unqualified audit opinion with findings. 18-19, there was 4 findings, unqualified with findings. And then in the year under review, 19-20, there was a regression, which saw 7 findings by the Auditor General. So I raise the issue of the minister and the deputy in that context, that you are dealing here with a caretaker executive in the form of an individual, and the minister is not here to explain the sort of circumstances as to why there's no full board, and amongst others. So I'm not sure what type of interaction we're going to have in the absence of the minister or the deputy minister. And as I say, the correspondence from us was sent on the 10th of May, and the apology, not coming from the minister, sent by her PLO, arrived at, well, I received it at 5:15, 45 minutes before we were due to start. I consider that to be a very uncooperative way of doing things, and one which seeks to undermine the committee, and one which is totally unacceptable, to say the very least. So that's why I thought I should flag that matter first, colleagues, because ordinarily would proceed with the accounting officer, as we should in the absence of the executive authority. But the set of circumstances of this entity are somewhat peculiar, as we have them now. And they require, as far as I'm concerned, the minister to be present. But I would want to then hand over to you, colleagues, so that we can make a determination in terms of how we proceed with this matter. So SITA, momentarily, if you can just bear with us, and then we will deal with this matter. Right. Honorable Van Minen, I see you have indicated in our group that you want to speak. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, Chair. And I really want to state that I think this is a completely unacceptable circumstance. If one looks at the SITA, there are enormous problems with governance. There are enormous problems with leadership. As you have rightly pointed out, it is having an effect on the audit outcomes. The media has already questioned the relationship between the executive caretaker and the accounting authority and the minister's husband. So I really think that the minister to suddenly essentially go AWOL at the last minute without even submitting proper apologies is completely unacceptable. And I think it reflects in the results that we're seeing here in the SITA. I think it is very clear that the political oversight is lacking at the very least. And I really think that this committee should be responding in the strongest possible way. We cannot proceed in a situation like this. As we've seen, virtually everybody is acting. And we need to have a situation where the minister and the deputy minister are both here so that we can actually hold them to account and do the job that Parliament has appointed us to do. Thank you.
All right, colleagues, any further comments? I see somebody indicating to speak there. All right, colleagues, any further hands?
We are still trying to digest and process what you are saying, Chair. It is quite disturbing.
All right, no problem. It's just that it's only information I received now. So
yes.
It has also taken me aback as well. I had not anticipated the kind of correspondence that I received.
And it is imperative that at least the accounting authority, be it the minister or the deputy, be present. I don't foresee a situation where we proceed without those two or one of them being present. I'm not sure how other colleagues feel, but from my point of view, I don't think we will achieve anything. It will be a futile exercise, Chair. So in the letter, was there any indication of a preferred date that they will be available, or are they suggesting that we proceed without them being present? Have you had an opportunity to engage with them after receiving the letter? So that
no, I have not.
Yes.
I have not, simply because I was advised, well, the minister's letter indicates, I will get it now. so that the PLO, it says the reason the minister's apology is that she'll be presenting the department's budget vote, and immediately after that meeting with department officials to brief her about the presentation, she'll be presenting to Cabinet Committee on 19 May. That's the minister, and the deputy minister is traveling to the Free State today. So that's that.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Chair.
Chairperson.
Right, Honorable Turks, and then Honorable Mente.
Chairperson, we have a problem here. Honorable Talash and Honorable Somio cannot get onto this platform here, and Honorable Somio is the one that was leading tonight in this discussion. That's why I don't want to make a comment, because I want to hear what is his view, and he's not on the platform.
All right, I'm told that his technical problems are being sorted out. Mam Tolasha has indicated a late joining. She submitted an apology that she will join us shortly. So I hear you. They are trying to help Honorable Song. Honorable Mente, SITA, please just bear with us.
But thank you, Chair. No, Chair, I'm interested in knowing the time frames where the letter had landed on the minister's table. When did we send it to her?
10th of May.
That she did not know, because budget votes, all of them, had been scheduled long time ago in the NAPC of like 3 weeks ago. So I'm not taking kindly to this kind of an attitude. It's a very undermining attitude. Well, she knew this time she's going to be having a budget vote. She also knew that she has to deal with documents of their cabinet, because their cabinet is scheduled for every Wednesday. And therefore, she should have made it clear that this time for her is not convenient, and therefore we're not going to schedule and prepare for this particular hearing. And we could have scheduled another entity for this time. And therefore, I'm not taking kindly to this. We're being undermined. Neither minister nor the deputy minister is available. And therefore, it means this is not a very important component of their entity. To them, it's like, we will hear what the outcome is. It's not an issue. I'm not taking kindly, Chair, but we have to deal with it.
Yeah. Thanks, Honorable Mente. I agree with you. I hear what Honorable Dex is saying. This dilemma, but I think we'll have to take a decision, because amongst other things, you've got a regression on the watch of the caretaker. But the fundamental question becomes, why hasn't a board been appointed? Because as a point of departure, those are the things we need to deal with. And we need to deal with them first. First things first, as a means of clearing the woods, for lack of a better term, for the hearing. Because what is not in dispute is that the caretaker and the caretaker board will have to answer for this set of circumstances of this audit outcome. It happened under their watch, but it's a peculiar arrangement, which the point of departure requires the minister. So they still have to answer for this, the financial statements that are prepared inconsistent with the reporting format, amongst others. In the regression, I mean, as I said, you're dealing with 7 findings. So the picture is not good either for the minister or the caretaker and the caretaker board arrangement that is there. So, yeah, colleagues, I think Honorable Somyo is having difficulty logging in. I will propose, colleagues, that we suspend this meeting and identify a new date. Sistombi, if you can look at the earliest possible opportunity for the committee to say what really irritates me, and just, yeah, before I use language which may be unparliamentary, but what really, really irritates me is the failure of certain quarters of the executive to communicate in due time so that we do not waste Parliament's time and actually schedule other things, given the extent of the rot which prevails in government departments and entities. This kind of last-minute behavior is unprofessional and, plainly put, very childish. It just smacks of irresponsible behavior, as if we are interacting at an adversarial level and not as colleagues in the different arms of the state. It just speaks to a misplaced and misguided self-importance and a condescending attitude towards Parliament. And I find it totally unacceptable, and I just can't stomach it any longer. It just irritates me, because we could have done something else with this time in a short term that we have of Parliament before we go to recess in June. Now, to be dealing with elementaries of communication and correspondence with the executive, people whom, for all intents and purposes, are running the country, and this is the attitude they have to Parliament. Quite frankly, it's just annoying. I'm ventilating to the wrong choir, because, colleagues, we are all here. But this is just not acceptable. Because, as I'm saying, correspondence went on the 10th of May, and also the meeting was scheduled to sit after the budget votes, not during the budget votes. So, quite frankly, this behavior is just fast annoying me. Yeah. So, Sistombi, Ben, please just have a look at the program and see how adjustments can be made, because we are also navigating a difficult period. There's budget votes now, so we're not meeting as per normal. We have to be cognizant of the fact that colleagues may be participating in other things, and all sorts of considerations that we need to make. So the program for this term is not an easy one to navigate. And then to throw a spanner in the works in this very casual manner, as if Parliament doesn't matter, is precisely what gives credence to the criticism that's out there. And it's been given by people who are supposed to be coming here to account. You've not had a board since forever. And even that is not explained. Like Yabonje, the entire Kasula and your colleagues, sing him limpinjin actually.
What's the problem,
Sistombi,
Chair?
yeah, sister. Oh, Babu Samia, welcome. Sorry about the
Yes.
technical glitches that you have had to endure. May I quickly summarize for you the dilemma we have faced, which I've presented to colleagues. On the 10th,
Honorable Somyo, ufika uche uthukuthele ugane unwabo.
on the on the 10th of May, Babu Songa, we sent our correspondence for this hearing to the minister. And then a short while ago, and I said to colleagues, I used the term deliberately, at 5:15 this evening, I received a letter from the parliamentary liaison officer of the minister indicating the minister would not be available because she's in a budget vote, and that after that budget vote, she will be attending to a meeting with her officials to brief her for cabinet tomorrow. And why I raised and the deputy minister is not available because the deputy minister is traveling to the Free State. Why I raised that is because the previous board's term, as I was reading, came to an end in December 2019 and has not been renewed. And it's now May 2021. There's a caretaker individual and a caretaker arrangement of it, the executive caretaker, CFO, and the deputy director general from the department, which constitute some form of board called the interim board of directors. So we are raising the issue now of how do we proceed under the circumstances. And I'm raising on the record my disquiet about the lack of cooperation and just mutual respect that we are consistently and persistently receiving from certain quarters of the executive, insofar as coordination and planning is concerned, and just respecting one another. It's not an adversarial relationship, but 45 minutes before the start of the meeting, I don't even get correspondence from the minister, nor a call at the very least, but from the PLO. That's the dilemma that I was presenting, Babsomi. And Honorable Dirks was suggesting that we somewhat wait for you because you are leading questions this evening with Honorable Van Minen, but we were told that there was difficulty. So there was already a proposal for a suspension of the meeting, a postponement, and asked the Stormian would bend to find a date within our already complex program so that we can finalize matters of the State Information Technology Agency. So I'll hand over to you, and that is where we are.
No, fine. Thanks, Chair. I'm really sorry for this hitch, but ultimately I'm in. There's no other way. In absence of the executive authority, in as far as the SITA is concerned, it then becomes a problem. Can I find out whether the acting CEO and other members of the said board are in, or they are as well not part of the meeting?
To my knowledge, I'm advised that they are in, but we wanted to do these housekeeping matters first before we hand over to them.
Okay. No, fine. So that we don't be angry to everybody. You see, if they've made it into the meeting, they are just like us in this instance. It might be that to accommodate the minister must find that time so that everybody should be in the same space, because there are questions which ought to be directed to the minister in terms of the governance in this instance, and because those are functionaries which are currently there because of her hand in a way. So it would have been better if she was going to be part of the meeting.
All right, colleagues, thank you very much. I think Absom is in agreement with us in the sentiment that has been expressed. To the caretaker executive of SITA, it is an unfortunate set of circumstances which has befallen us, but I suppose one which gives you additional time to prepare for the questions that we have, given the regression which you are dealing with, the qualified audit opinion with some 7 areas of qualification. Because key amongst the issues we need to grapple with is to why a board up to now has not been appointed. It's May 2021 and the term of the current board ended in 2019. And to also interrogate whether in law this kind of arrangement is permissible. So colleagues, I'm going to just ask the Stormy, but Ben, can you just give a tentative date in our program and see what adjustments we can make so that members have at least got ballpark clue of what we are looking at. Stombi, put pen.
The 26th, Chairperson.
What time on the 26th?
9:30.
Aye, that's my court date.
What do you want in
26th of
court?
May. System.
What do you want in court?
Aye,
That's what I want to. That's next week, Wednesday. What?
What are you doing in court?
What are you doing?
To my knowledge. All right,
going-
colleagues. No. Tentatively, we will.
Hey,
Tentatively, we will look at the date.
bad day for me, that.
The 26th of May at 9:30, but we will discuss it amongst ourselves, colleagues in the group, and find a consensus before I dispatch correspondence. So-
Honorable Chair.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Chair. You're speaking to Nonkubela Jordan, the Acting Director General at the Department of Communications and Digital
Yes, and if you
Technologies.
may turn on your camera.
Thank you, Chair. Sorry, as you know that we've just finished the budget vote of the communications. The Minister and the Deputy Minister were just finalizing the interviews. They would have been available from 7 p.m. But Chair,
The horses have bolted on that.
I
The
understand,
horses
Chair,
have
my hand
bolted
has
on
been...
that. Wait. I sent correspondence on the 10th, and the department and the minister through the PLO chose to send it by the PLO at 5:15. I'm past that now. Whatever explanation can be presented when we have the next meeting. We are not going to have a... No. So just don't venture down the avenue of that explanation.
No, Chair, I've moved past that
With all
point.
due
May I
respect, ma'am.
I've moved past that point, Chair. I just wanted to indicate that the 26th, Tuesdays and especially Wednesdays, those are cabinet meetings, Chair. So if you were then...
Yes, and there are also parliamentary days. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are parliamentary days. There's not going to be a situation where cabinet will seek to take precedence over all else. Then it means parliament must not function on Wednesdays. And then we make a special arrangement to meet on Tuesday night, and the minister says she's preparing for Wednesday. Then when do we meet? This is not going to end well.
Chair,
Honestly, it's not.
this morning we had the minister and the deputy minister. It's a
Minister
Tuesday.
here in the meeting. This kind of special treatment is just not going to apply. So, colleagues, the meeting stands adjourned with the proviso that the tentative date is the 26th of May, and we will communicate. Because I think if we venture down this avenue, I'm going to really just lose it.
Apologies, Chair. Noted. Thank you.
Don't lose it, Chair. Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
Colleagues, thank you very much. Have a good evening. We will meet tomorrow morning. Stombi Compensation Fund tomorrow at 9:30.
Yes, Chairperson.
Right, colleagues, we are scheduled to meet with the Compensation Fund tomorrow morning at 9:30. Yeah. So let's meet then, which is a cabinet day, by the way.
Ayidlishiyele Hlalo moya phansi.
Colleagues,
Ayidlishiyele.
hayi ngiyakuzwa Bhungane sengehlila ngezansi.
Bayamdelela uChair.
Hayi wena, hayi subasa.
Bayamdelela uChair, kubo Chair.
Subasa wena man.
Guys, good night. I will see you tomorrow.
My apologies.
We will meet tomorrow at 9:30, colleagues, for the Compensation Fund.
Chair, I wanted to...
Yeah, all right. SITA team and our colleagues from SIU and AG, thank you very much. And of course, these are circumstances beyond our control. We were available just as you were, and we will communicate on the final day. Have a good evening, colleagues. Thank you very much.
All right.